Hey, Shamrock here. This time I'm going to go through a Fenryr on a 22 Tyrannical in Halls of Valor. I decided to record this when I was in a group without a rogue. Um, as most of you will know, if you have a rogue, it kind of trivializes the fight a bit because you can ignore the leaps, the bleeds that everybody gets. For those of you who don't know, a rogue can immune them. They basically run out far enough so they get leaped first all the time, and then when they immune it, it immunes the leap for everybody, so you don't have to deal with that bleed. But we don't always have that luxury, so this is us doing it without a rogue in the group. I decided to start from the first battle with Fenryr, which is from 100% to 60%. Reason being is just I want to show you that you don't want to waste your cooldowns. It may depend on the route that your tank is doing, but some of them go from Fenryr 1 to Fenryr 2, in which case you really want to be careful not to use your cooldowns because you want all of them for that second fight. This one, he does a little bit of trash in between, so I have some time. But if you do need to pop a cooldown, I would just suggest popping AG, as well as maybe any trinkets or racial. Anything that has like a small 2-minute or less cooldown, I feel like is safe to use here. And try to use it towards the beginning. So anyways, on the first battle with Fenryr, everything's pared down a little bit. He only leaps on 2 people, and when he howls, he doesn't summon the wolves. So really your only danger on this first part is the 2 claw frenzies, or sorry, is really just if 2 claw frenzies happen very close to each other. If you're not able to catch up from the first claw frenzy, especially if some people have the leap dot, the second one may kill somebody. So that's really the only thing to be careful of. So some general rules here is try to keep Riptide on the targets with the bleed, focus them with healing surges and healing waves, have your cloudburst pop down so that as you're healing the people with the debuff, you're kind of filling that cloudburst up, and be ready to pop those after the frenzies. So after a frenzy, I usually, if I have a downpour up, that's what I'll use immediately, as well, followed by like a chain heal, and then I'll burst the cloud, or burst the cloudburst. If you don't have downpour up, I would say just use chain heal or healing surges. Once again, you're just trying to keep people above 70% or so that if another claw frenzy happens, you don't immediately kill them. Yeah, and just focus on filling up your cloudburst and using that to sort of top people up in between the frenzies if you can. Okay, I sped this part up just so we can get to the next Fen real quick. So most groups, depending on the timing of the dungeon and how fast you get here and where, how fast Rsham took, you should have Lust on pull, which we do have here. However, I'm a dummy, so I didn't pop it right away just because I forgot. I do pop it towards the end of the fight, but most of you guys will pop it towards the beginning of the fight, so you really shouldn't need to use any cooldowns while Lust is up. Regardless of what he's casting, you should be fine with whatever your regular toolkit is, minus cooldowns, because you're so fast with the haste. All right, this extra difficulty with Quaking because you are supposed to be stacked for the Frenzy. So if you are doing this with Quaking as the affix, I would suggest saving your Nature Swiftness for any tight spots where Quaking happens and you need to heal right away. Okay, first Frenzy, it's basically Healing Rain, Downpour, and Riptides. Like I said, oh, actually, no, we don't have Lust, so that's not helping. I did pop my Trinket, though, so that helped right away with the first set of Frenzy and Leaps. And that is the crit trinket from Shadow Moon, by the way. All right, second Frenzy, I used Ancestral Guidance, AG, and that was enough to keep everybody healed up. I didn't even pop the Cloud Burst, I had it down though. And once again, you're kind of just keeping the same cycle. So after a Frenzy, if you have Downpour available, make sure you pop that, followed by some Chain Heals. If anyone is super low, you can use Healing Surge on them. And in between, make sure you're refreshing your Healing Rain. So that should basically always be down for the entirety of the fight. For the Scent of Blood, if you get it on you, just throw some Riptides as you run around or run away. If you have like a warrior or something in the group and they can intervene, then you won't have to run. It makes it a little bit easier. If somebody else gets the Scent of Blood and they run away, try to follow them a little bit just in case the boss ends up like resetting there. Okay. Very important not to get spell locked here. So whatever you're doing, if he's casting that howl, just quit it right away. Okay, yeah, so I popped Lust here because someone said so. And I also used Slink there during that frenzy because everybody had like 80% health. I actually don't have any timers that say if Frenzy's coming. I just had a hunch that it was about to come. But maybe you have like a weak aura or a DVM or something that tells you. So you can plan for that a little bit more. But try to save Slink for when you're in a tight spot. Don't just pop it as a cooldown because you have it. Save it for when you really need it. All right, and that's pretty much it. So it's really all about spot healing the people with the bleeds, making sure they don't go under about 70% health so that a frenzy does not murk them in one hit. And after each frenzy, you want to lead with a downpour or some chain heals, preferably if they're high tide. Even if they're not, though, it's fine. Use it. And all of this should be while Cloud Burst is down so that you're amping that up, and you can use it as sort of a last burst of healing to top everyone up. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. Good luck.